Welcome in, everyworm! I'm Squishable Moon, your shooting star worm on a string with ranch addiction and fewer brain cells than the common garden snail, and welcome back to my channel. And this is part 1 of trying to flesh out my book characters to make my characters more 3D and better as a whole. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Squishy. I wrote a book called Fuzzbucketz. It's a book about a worm on a string named Starlight who was born without the ability to use magic. One day, an evil slime comes to destroy her home that eats only magic, and she must seek out the help from a faraway place to find out how to get rid of it before it destroys all magic as we know it. She will need the help of her new friends, Acorn, Bubbles, Sparkfire, and Blueberry to solve this mystery together. Before we get into this video, big warning. This video will contain spoilers of my book Fuzzbucketz. If you haven't read the book, maybe come to this video at a later time. If you don't mind seeing spoilers, then feel free to enjoy the video as it is. With that being said, let's get into the video. Today we are going to be working on the character Bubbles. Bubbles is one of the main characters of the story. She is also a fan favorite among those who have seen her design back before I even made it a book. And even as she's in the book, people still say she's their favorite. Bubbles is a worm on a string unicorn mermaid. Her main colors are yellow, blue, and lavender. She is around 22 years old, but ages may change based on the book. However, she will always be an adult. All of my characters in my books will always be adults. She went through a few redesigns, but I ended up liking this off-white fur color with yellow hair the most. Originally, I think I made her pink and teal. However, most people thought she matched way too much to the main character Starlight, so her design was turned to a white and yellow color later on. Her outfit is inspired by baby doll inspired cuts of clothes with lots of lace and trim, definitely Lolita inspired, but I made it very simple because I want it to be animated in the future. Gloves that go all the way up to her elbows, a big bow in the back of her head. You will notice that some of her designs, she does have a bit of tulle over her hips of the dress. That was added on later because I thought the dress was too boring. Now that is her human design. If you don't know, by the way, after I make season 1 of my book, there will be a season 2 where they are humans. And unlike some creators who are scared to use pock skin colors, I will be using darker skin colors, lighter skin colors, and also cultures all over the world because I think diversity makes content even better. Now, how would I describe Bubbles? Well, for one, she is based off of Fluttershy and Rarity from My Little Pony. I used them as a good starting base to make a character. Since I have no experience writing books, yes, even I as a writer and author have no experience making books because I was too scared to write anything when I was younger because I was too scared of being judged, when I should have just practiced writing and sharing it with people to get better, but hey, you lose some, you win some, so I'm starting my first book off really strong. She is a soft-spoken worm. When interacting with other creatures, it's not uncommon for her to respond with nervous whimper-like voices or to let out small squeaks when she is scared. Bubbles' shy nature tends to overlap with her strong fear of unfamiliar situations or situations where she has to talk to people or be in strange places or even loud noises. Basically, she's a big scaredy cat. However, Bubbles is largely unafraid of the ocean. Anything to do with the ocean, anything to do with the water or swimming, she is not very scared of. She is comfortable when she is wet. While she is very shy, she loves to express herself through music and fashion. Because she grew up in a castle, she is very knowledgeable about royal fashion attire, proper etiquette for royals. Bubbles is sometimes oversensitive about her appearance because she always wants to look her best. Now, a bit of a spoiler for the book. Bum bum bum! Bubbles is actually a princess. You heard that correctly. Bubbles is the princess of Pearl Cove. Pearl Cove being a large open area of beach with rocks surrounding it with a small opening that allows the ocean to touch the beach. I thought it would be interesting to make one of the main characters who isn't the main character a royal figure. Now, in a lot of books, usually the princess is the main character, but I thought it would be more uncommon if a character that wasn't the main character was the princess. Now, in My Little Pony, princesses are obviously uncommon. They're a little bit more common as the show goes on, but most of the time, you have to be made into an alicorn to become a princess. This is not what is in my book. There is no one look that fits royalty. There are tons of different kinds of royalty that are not alicorns, Bubbles being one of them. So something important to understand about all kingdoms in my book, a little book lore if you will. Each kingdom has a magical shard from a star that was broken to pieces many millennia ago. I won't go into too much detail, however all the kingdoms were based around this shard, and those kingdoms were able to keep their magic. So that means other kingdoms or smaller settlements may not have magic like the kingdoms do. That is why kingdoms were built, because all of the people, all of the worms, wanted to gravitate towards where they were able to still use magic. You may be thinking to yourself, why is this relevant, Squish? To make Bubbles a good character, why do I need to know all this? Well, we're gonna go into part that I really want to delve into so we know that Bubbles is a shy and sweet character. She's a bit of a brat, she's adorable, she has kind of a childish personality. My mom actually helped me with this part, as she came up with a cool theory to make Bubbles seem kind of more three-dimensional to her character, give her something that I can use for her own spin-off book. Though, if you don't know, the first book is about meeting all the characters, and the second book is going to be all about Bubbles and her origin. So if you love Bubbles, make sure to stay tuned because the next book will be coming out very soon, and we'll have more Bubbles content. Bubbles, from the first time we meet her, has always carried around a large white iridescent pearl with her. So from the first point we met her, the pearl was just some random object she has there. It's nothing special behind it so far, but my mom came up with a great idea that what if the pearl was holding back a monstrous side of her because she's been cursed. Now, okay, I know, please stay, listen, hear me out. I know princesses getting cursed is kind of a trope that's been done 1,000 times before, but hear me out. I think it would be so funny if I used this trope. I was thinking, if anything were to happen to her pearl, if her pearl was to be too far away from her for a long time, or let's say cracked, the magic would dissipate, turning Bubbles into a giant werebeast or a weremaid, a mermaid, werewolf, mermaid, merwolf, something like that. And I think it would be really cool if there was just another side to Bubbles that was completely different than her shy, cute demeanor, and she just had this animalistic beast inside her that would be let out. I think it could be really interesting to go with the opposite for Bubbles, because Bubbles normally is such a timid character. To see her turn into a hulking monster out of nowhere would be terrifying and awesome. And I'm not talking about a feminine looking monster. No. I'm not gonna be one of those people that make the dude look like a totally normal, like, wolf man, and then the girl is just like some busty wolf with fur and ears and eyelash. Now, I'm talking a full monster design. I'm not skimping on that. She's gonna look like an actual freaking monster. Another thing I want to talk about is her hobbies. So because she is based off of Fluttershy and Rarity, there are two things that Fluttershy and Rarity have in common, which is singing. Bubbles is a siren and a mermaid. It would make sense that she would have a very lovely voice. I'm actually working on the ending to the book right now, and I can tell you the ending because I actually changed the ending completely. I took out the ending that I had. The ending originally was going to end with her singing a song to bring back the magic, but I thought that was too cliche, and it's really hard to put a song in a book and make it make sense. So I ended up changing it to her using magic instead. If or when this gets made into a show, which, like I said, I am working on a pilot episode. Never animated anything in my life, want you to know. Never animated anything. I am making a pilot design of what I want the show to be like based off the first book. If you guys are interested in that, let me know, because if you are and you want to help me make this animation, I might be able to hook you up with a free copy of the book. With that being said, what do you think I could do to make this character better? What could I do that would fit into lore of my book to make her a more 3D character? I don't want her to just be a copy of exactly Fluttershy and Rarity. I only use them as a base. I want her to be her own person, her own unique character. So please let me know in the comments what you think. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed my video. I like making characters, and I cannot wait to see you guys when I stream. With that being said, I hope all your dreams come true. Bye bye!